Hey, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in to the podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share if you have a platform that you can share this on, whether it's Facebook, your own YouTube platform. Please share it out. There are many people, as I always say, that need to hear these stories from human beings like you and I that have gone through similar situations, maybe know somebody who's been through a situation like this, or may go through it in the future. You never know when this is going to come in handy. So if you're there, say hello. I'd love to say hi to you. Thank you for coming in and supporting my guest tonight. Can't even tell you how excited I am to hear my guest story. And a lot of it is so that I'm so happy for him. And a lot of it too is even for myself. And I'll explain a little bit about that as well. So don't forget, we are not doctors. Little disclaimer, we're not doctors. We're not therapists. We don't claim to be. We are just sharing our stories in hopes that somebody somewhere will hear their story and know that they are not alone. So if you have any questions or comments, please share in the comment section, and I will do my very best to get to them. If I don't, if I miss it, you can type it again, and I promise I will do my best to answer or share your comment with Brandon. Also wanted to let you know that Brandon was pretty sick last week, and so actually he was in his bedridden sick, and so he is suffering from a little bit of the remnants of his cough. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up. And, the enemy always wants to try to stop somebody from doing something good. I'm telling you, I know this from experience. I know that you guys do as well. Something always wants to stop someone from doing something good. So with that being said, if he has a cough attack, we'll just keep chatting. I'll check you guys out in the comment section, but we all know how it is having one of those stupid lingering coughs. So just bear with us, okay? All right, I'm going to bring Brandon in, and we are going to get started. Hi, Brandon. Welcome in.
Hello. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm so excited that you are here. Number one, first and foremost, again, congratulations on being 82 days sober today. Seriously, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
I
I
can't
appreciate
even,
that.
seriously, and I can't wait to hear the details of your story. Again, anybody in here, say hello. But one of the reasons why I shared during the opening is I can relate to alcoholism in that, unfortunately, my dad was a raging alcoholic, and my siblings and I, we suffered from physical, mental, emotional abuse. And I'm so happy for you and your son
Yeah.
that you've chosen this path to sobriety. So well done. I
Thank
can only
you.
imagine
Thank
how
you.
hard it is. So really quick, I just wanted to find out first, or let people know, I found you on TikTok, and most, or actually quite a few of my guests have come from TikTok because I, like everyone else, scroll through, and you were on my FYP page, and I was like, and just very interesting. You have Motivational Monday, and I
Yeah.
love that. And but I started kind of watching and listening to your story, and thought, okay, this guy is on his way to this journey of sobriety. Hi, Debbie Druck. Hi, Anna. Anna says, way to go, Brandon.
Thank you.
So first and foremost, well, I don't know if it's first and foremost because I'm a little on the ADD side, so we might be going in and out and all over the
Me
place.
too. It's perfectly fine.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay. So maybe not first and foremost, but let me ask you this question. Why share it on social media?
So I first started TikTok, like I've been on it forever, and then I'm a bartender. Ironically enough, I'm still a bartender. During COVID, I was making a lot of funny videos because I was in the house, literally like, couldn't do anything. So
Mm-hmm.
like I'm like, oh, let's get famous and make money off TikTok. So I have like goofy videos, and then I start posting my son a little bit. And then what started like my journey was I took a video for myself personally, right the day that I checked myself into rehab.
Mm.
Kind of like talking to myself and was like telling myself I had to do this. And I have a video, like I hold my phone up off of my leg for support and I'm like shaking real bad. And I'm talking to myself like, I'm done with these shakes. This isn't fun anymore. And then I made another video once I was out and just like, all right, it's been 10 days, like kind of talking to myself. And then I put them together and I put it on TikTok, not for views or likes or hoping to go viral. Um, One, because I am proud of myself, and anybody that's gone through addiction of any kind knows it's not easy. So it was more like for me, and whether one person saw it or 1 million, and there was one person that either reached out or it kind of like moved a little bit or gave them like that kick in the ass to like do it themselves,
Mhm.
then that's one person that I could have potentially helped, and that's kind of why I did it.
Absolutely. And I love that. And I have to tell you, I am right there with you in terms of this podcast being just either when it was on radio or now it's on YouTube and now it's shared with a television network or Prosperity TV network, which it goes to through Roku. It will also post on Apple TV, just different places where I know that it will, reach others in other countries as well. And I have never done this either for the views. I ask people to share it all the time, and I continue to ask because you never know who on someone else's platform, maybe they're not followers of mine or whatnot, needs to hear it. And so I'm always like, just please share this out because you never know who needs to hear it. I'm not here for, I mean, I don't make any money off of this. I don't have
Right.
anything to make money, and that's not what it's about for me either. It's about just helping people. There are people that have very important stories to tell, and boy, am I honored to have guests say yes and come on. I mean, that's for me, that's enough for me, is that people say yes to come on and share. So I thank you for that.
Yeah,
Um,
when I posted on Facebook about my 60 days, and it was actually a day that my son had a game and he won. So I kind of talked about that, and then talked about being 60 days sober. And somebody actually that I went to high school with messaged me and was like, "Hey, I'm like super happy for you. I really enjoyed reading this. It made me happy." And I was like, "Oh, well, thanks. Like, I appreciate it." And he's kind of like opened up to me and told me he was struggling himself.
mm,
His wife moved out. He hasn't seen his kids, and I kind of told him my story, and he told me he's literally. I mean, it sounds like mine as well.
mhm.
So just that right there, I kind of gave him the tools, and I told him where I went, and told him to reach out to me anytime he wants. And I'm not going to hound him and be like, "Go to rehab, you have to." But I just
Right.
told him, and I've occasionally, every now and then, I try to message him once a week and just kind of see how he's doing. But I mean, just like I said, that right there, one person reaching out, I mean, made me feel good.
Yeah,
But
for sure. I can imagine. And gosh, even on the other side of this, it's for me, I think sometimes what is heartbreaking for me is I had a podcast with a couple. The husband was sober, recovering alcoholic, and his wife stood by his side, and through all of his years of drinking and getting drunk and just this whole mess, they stood by one another. And it just so happened to be a friend of mine, that two friends of mine, husband and wife, that came on and shared their story. And another friend of mine saw it on Facebook, and she too reached out and said, um, I have to tell you, thank you so much. That was such a inspirational story of hearing Brian. His name is Brian, and it's on social media. So his name is Brian, and his wife is Tammy. And she said, I'm struggling, and that was so helpful. And oh my gosh, the heartbreaking part of it was just this past Christmas, so a year ago, she died of cirrhosis of the liver, and it kills me. That kind of stuff kills me, and I take great interest in people who are sharing their stories of man trying to either become clean or sober because even though I don't know you personally, Brandon, boy, I'm a cheerleader of yours. I'm just like, gosh, come on,
Thank you.
you've got this. You've got this. I think the beautiful thing about you doing this, and you and I chatted before, is that you're doing this not only for yourself but for your son. And the thing that I know, I see my sisters in here. One of the things that we and my brother as well had always wondered, man, when our dad was sober, boy, we loved being around him most of the time. It was like walking on eggshells, even when he was sober. He had to be in a good mood for us to be around. But when he was sober and funny, and it was okay for us to be around him, I longed for more of that. And it's unfortunate that we didn't get that very much. But the fact that you have chosen to give this a go, make this a new part of your life, a new start to living for you and your son is admirable, to say the very least. So I want to ask you this. I want to kind of go back and tell me a little bit, or tell us a little bit about your childhood, what kind of family life you had, kind of parents, things like that. What kind of kiddo were you?
Yeah, so I was a military brat. My dad was in the Air Force, my mom was in the Air Force. When I was 4, we moved to Germany and they split up. So I was raised, my older sister and me, by my mom, like a single mother for a while. And then she met my stepdad when I was around 8. Um, my biological father came in and out of my life. He was still in Germany. I was young. I asked questions. I would talk to him on the phone every now and then. Then my stepdad met my mom when like I said, 8. I think he moved in around 9. They got married. He was great. He put me in sports, taught me how to play football. He was in the military as well, law enforcement background. Taught me how to play football, wrestle. My football jersey actually had his last name on it. I said his last name was mine. I mean, he raised me. I think it was my 14th birthday. My biological father reaches out to me and kind of comes back into my life, and I'm 14, so I go out. He's in Washington State at the time. I go out and visit him. He buys me stuff, and I'm 14. I'm like, oh hell yeah, this is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my with my mom, we never went without by any means, but we also never did extravagant stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like to sound like I was missing meals and anything, but we didn't miss out, but we weren't doing anything crazy.
Right.
So when I'd go to my dad's and he'd buy me new shoes, $80 cologne, I'm like, this is dope.
Yeah.
And then around that time I'm starting to be a teenager as well. So the hormones and everything, and I'm actually like getting in trouble doing stuff, and my stepdad's like cracking down on me. And then, I pull the whole like, well, you're not my dad. I'll go live with my dad. And my mom was always like, the grass isn't always greener on the other side, but if you want to go, go. He probably won't let you. And he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my stepdad, we butted heads um, a lot because I would always pull that "you're not my dad," and he was a very tough love. That's how he was raised. It was like affection was never a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I believe to this day he loves me. I mean, he said it when we've had deep conversations, but it's just something we did. I know that the first time I hugged him was at my grandpa's funeral, like his dad. So we butted heads a lot, and hurtful stuff was said, and some things that he's not proud of, I know, and that I don't, I'm not proud to happen. But here we are today. I know that I can call him at 3 o'clock in the morning with a flat tire and he will get up and he'll be there. I've had legal trouble. He's been at the jail to bail me out. I mean, it was my money, but he drove the car there. My biological father is not in my life. He's met my son one time. So I always say the story is if my stepdad's sitting there or walks in the door, my son is going to run over, Papa! Like, start
Mhm.
punching him and wrestling with him. If my biological father walks in the door, he's not even going to look at him twice because he doesn't know him. But it kind of hurt me for a while, but then uh, I wouldn't reach out to him, so he wouldn't reach out to me. And I'm in my 30s and I have a kid, I have mental health issues like everyone else. And kind of out of sight, out of mind was his thing. And my mom never said I told you so, but he's a selfish guy. He's got a
Mhm.
lot of money and he's never had to be a, in quotations, father.
Mhm.
So out of sight, out of mind. But that's his loss because I have an amazing son. And I always tell people my stepdad, I wouldn't be the man I am today without my stepdad. He taught me the hard life lessons and what hard work is all about. And I really appreciate him
Wow,
for that. Yeah.
that's that is such a tribute to your stepdad and all stepdads that are taking part, loving, maybe not show the affection and whatnot, but
Right.
tough love and loving their son or daughter and stepson or daughter. And because there have been many on here that can say and can share the feeling of not knowing one of their parents or both of their parents, and the effects, how it still affects them today, even though we know that, okay, well, I'll speak for myself, their choice, their loss, and they missed out, yes. But at the same time, tell me if you feel this way or not. At the same time, I still wondered, man, what would it have been like if I would have had a good, I really would like to have had a relationship with, you know, someone, my biological dad, who lived in the house. We lived in the house, and I still don't really know much about him. It's still a little tinge there, maybe some remnants of, like you said, a little bit of mental issue with that. It's a daily choice or decision to say, okay, it's a disease, and I know that, and but also at the same time, in my mind as a kid, I thought, it's also a choice. Aren't you choosing to do that?
Exactly.
Can you not choose to get help? Are we not good enough? That,
Yeah.
all the questions that a kid asks. So does it bother you at all that, I know, out of sight, out of mind, but does it bother you at all?
This is that's that's a great question. So I currently go to therapy once a week, and this is something that we talk about often, but other than that, I really don't speak on it. Because like I said, out of sight, out of mind.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, I mean, at the end of the day, he is my father. I could have had him in my life and my stepdad, and it could have been like, why can't I have them both? The thing that hurt for me with him was I get it when he was in Germany still in the military. He's from Arkansas, which is not that far from where I reside. And when he retired, he stayed in Washington State. Um, he's does not struggle financially at all. I mean, because he doesn't take care of anyone but him and his wife has a great job. So it was never about money. Um, and he would fly me out there on Christmas and then for the summer for a week. But one of the things that I always remember is I would go visit him. There was a time I wanted a laptop for school, and I was like I said, my mom made sure we had what we needed, but
Right.
we had a huge blended family, so there was a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
So you couldn't get one kid a laptop, and she definitely couldn't afford everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked my dad, I was like, "Hey, can you help me get a laptop?" He pulls out a calculator and calculates how much he pays a month for child support and how much it adds up to a year. And he says that should be more than enough for a laptop. And I think I was 15 or 16 at the time. I was still in the younger teens, but I knew one, how much a growing kid eats, how much electricity, just everything, like everyday life expenses I knew. And I'm like, that really pissed me off and rubbed me the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom would never talk bad about him. She would say he was a selfish person, which I found out myself.
Mm-hmm.
But he would also throw like pop shots at my mom. And I'm a huge, huge mama's boy, like huge.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I would go visit him, especially when I was younger, I would get homesick and I'd miss my mom. And then
Right.
when he would like take little jabs at my mom, it would really piss me off and rub me the wrong way. So when I graduated high school, I knew I wasn't going to college. I didn't take the SAT, ACT. I was D for diploma. I was ready to get gone. I was wanting
Mm-hmm.
to be grown way too bad. But he gave me an ultimatum. He's like, I can give you $1,000 or I can come see you graduate. I knew I wanted to move out shortly after I graduated. I needed a car, so I took the money, obviously. But in my head, I'm like, $1,000 is nothing for you. His wife travels, so she has sky miles and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to college. So this is the only time I'm going to walk across the stage and get my name called, which is your last name in my head is what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And you just couldn't even do a 1 day trip. I don't know.
I get
So that,
it.
yeah, that was like the start of the downfall. And then I started growing up and making adult decisions and I had a kid. And then I just, like I said, if I didn't reach out to him, he would reach out to me. So getting back, yeah, I was snowballing. Getting back, yeah, I do wonder what it would be like. And I'm not going to put the blame of one thing or another on someone else, but I struggle very badly in relationships. I have abandonment issues. I
Mm-hmm.
have what's called anxious attachment style. Like in my head, I'm like, if my own father didn't want me, why would you want me? Like my own father lied to me. Why wouldn't you? Why would you not lie to me? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to throw all the blame on him because I messed up myself in relationships. But I think a lot of stuff and diving into therapy as that's like there's always a root of something that stems off from that, and I believe that he is the root of that.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand that. I believe that there are a lot of things in, gosh, and I'm old, that I recognized probably in my 40s that I thought that's the reason why I think that way. And hardcore, like even in at work, I used to think, I don't think this what I'm doing. I don't think this is good enough. No, think I don't think this is good enough because we were always told that, yep, that's not good enough. You need to do it again. And or we were told exactly how to do something. So, which was great. I was being taught exactly how to do something. But um, if we didn't do it exactly how we were told, it was wrong. So, in jobs where someone might say, you know what, I need you to put together this spreadsheet of this, that, and the other. And I'm thinking, I think that's why I'm a visual learner, actually, now that I think about it. Do you have a template? Do you have an idea? Can you write down exactly what you want? Swear. Because I don't know if I'm going to do whatever it is that you want. Do you have something? Do you have and so they were like, no, you got it. And I was thinking, actually, I don't. In my head, I was thinking, actually, I don't. I really don't. I struggled so much with this, just not being told exactly how to do it. And I struggled with that. But yeah, I mean, I totally understand that, Brandon. And I have it. There's a comment here from Anna. She says, Brandon, thank you for sharing. Unless you've gone through it, you truly don't understand how hard, like beyond hard, it is to break addiction. It is a day-to-day struggle at times, at least for me. Let me ask you about that. And I know I'm kind of going off of all the things. And again, anyone that's tuning in, please share on your platform if you can. You never know who needs to hear this. And again, if you're just joining us, thanks for coming in. Hi, Lynn the Okie. Brandon has been sick, so if he goes into a coughing spell, please just know he's recovering from a cough, but I appreciate him coming on anyway. So thank you, Brandon. Let me ask you this. Wait, one more comment. Anna says it took her a while to realize how childhood trauma affected her in her adulthood. Yeah, Yeah, completely. So you're 82 days sober today.
Hmm.
And how has it been? How, is it a daily struggle? Is it I'm good some days and then some days I'm thinking, dude, or how is it?
So she said it's a day-to-day struggle, and that is, I mean, the key point to that is day to day. I think for anybody that's trying to get sober, yeah, being a year, 90 days, me now 82, I mean, that's awesome, but it day to day, don't look at it 90 days away, like, and then it'll be that seems when you're one day trying to get clean, 90 days seems forever away.
Mm,
So day to day is key. Take one day at a time. Um, to be 100% honest, it has not been hard at all. I mean, there's days that I want to have a drink, but
sure.
I think that's sheer. I'm just bored because I'm a single guy. If I don't have my son, I go to work or and I come home by myself. I bartend, so I work on the weekends. So like tonight, Mondays are pretty much my one night without a child or work. I don't really have many friends anymore, but even the ones that I do have, they work 9 to 5s. They don't want to go out or go see a movie at 8:30 on a Monday because they have to work the next morning.
Mm,
So the wanting to drink, I think, is just sheer boredom time. Like when I'm by myself, before I was just drinking, scrolling TikTok, drinking, doing
mhm,
whatever. So it's just out of boredom. This past time in rehab was my second time going in. They give you medication to help with withdrawals and everything, and then they taper you off of it, and then you have to be off of that for a certain amount of days before they can like medically release you. When I went in, I took the medicine one day, and then I refused it, and they were like, "I don't think that's a good idea. Why are you doing this? Are you trying to leave early?" I told them, "No, I don't want the medicine because I want to suffer. I This isn't a vacation. I'm a hypochondriac. Like, if I have a pain in my toe, I think I'm dying, and I'll text my mom like, "This is it. If you don't hear from me." So for rehab, they check on you every 15 to 30 minutes. So I denied the medicine, but I knew that if I started having a seizure or something, there's people there that can help me. But
mm,
I wanted to suffer in a sense because I use that as if I want to drink, I remember laying in that bed with the cold sweats shaking,
mhm,
all the gory details that I won't get into, but it sucked. And I use that as motivation to not drink because I don't ever want to be there again. I
mm,
remember right before I checked myself into rehab the second time. So, long story short, the first time, my mom is in remission of breast cancer. She was going through chemo. She saw how bad my problem was crying to me, like, "You need to go. I don't want to bury you." And I kind of just said, "Fuck it. Like, I'll go." Just, like I was like, shut you up in a sense.
sure. Yep.
I didn't like wanted to be clean, but I didn't want to be clean.
Mhm,
So when I got out, I was sober for a month, dabbled in back with one of my exes, and then we broke up again, and then I spiraled out of control again. This time was 100% my decision. I mean, of course, my mom saw that I was going down again and was like, "I think you should go back." But I made the call. I told my work I'll be gone for a week and stuff. Like I think I told you I was getting a haircut and I had a panic attack in the middle of a haircut. Like half my hair is cut, and I go to the hospital because I think I'm dying. Because I'm going through withdrawals because I hadn't had a
mm,
drink in 2 to 3 hours. That's how bad it was. And I'm like in the hospital for 4 hours. They give me IVs. That was bad. But then what really the icing on the cake, which was like I'm doing this, was I was severely dehydrated. My son's with me. Kroger is 30 seconds up the street. I'm like, "Come on, buddy, we got to go get some water." And I get him candy or whatever. And I'm in the front seat of the car, shaking, twisting the bottle open, and I'm chugging water and it's spilling down my face. And I look in the rear view, and my son's just like got this blank look on his face. And he's looking at me. And he's like, he says to me, he's like, "Oh, man," he's like, "Daddy, are you okay?" And like, I can still hear it the way
mm,
he said it. And it was like, in my head, I'm like, "No, the fuck, I'm not okay. This is terrible." And I remember I called my mom crying, and I was like, "This isn't fun anymore. This, like, I was drinking to survive. That's what I told her. So I told everyone, like, I wasn't drinking for fun. I woke up in the morning, had to have a drink to shave, or I had the shakes. Like, I drank to feel normal in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And
And so
that
how much were you drinking? How much were you a functioning alcoholic? Were you drinking morning to evening?
I was high functioning. Like, all of my regulars that I told I told them I was going to rehab, and I told them how much I drank and everything, and they were all in disbelief. They're like, I had no idea. I was drinking close to a liter of hard liquor vodka a day, Monday through 7 days a week. From the moment I woke up, shit, I'd wake up in the middle of the night sometimes and reach over and take 3 shots just to go back to sleep.
Mm.
First thing in the morning, or when I woke up, drinks. I bartended, taking drinks at work. I mean, if it's a holiday the next day and I'm stopping at the liquor store on the way to work, I'm thinking, shoot, the liquor store might be closed tomorrow. I better grab 2 bottles. I'm going to my mom's for dinner. I need to put a little bit in a Powerade bottle. I'm going to leave my phone and my wallet in the car. So I have 2 excuses to go out to the car, take a couple drinks. Like, that's how my brain worked.
Mhm.
Once I had that, took that gulp, it was the only thing on my mind was the next drink. I'm out to dinner. I'm like, oh shit, like, I need a drink. Like, it was not fun at all. It was not fun, but high functioning to, and it's like, there's people that are alcoholics and you can tell they're passed out, pissing themselves. Like me, I worked every day, and this is something that I am not proud of at all. But I would, in the morning, take a couple shots, take my son to school, pick him up, and I mean, looking at it with a clear mind now, it's like I could have been at a red light and somebody behind me rear ends me, and then they smell alcohol in me, and I lose my son forever, and I never
Mm.
see him again, and I'm at fault. Like, I wasn't like shit faced drunk, but like I had alcohol in my system and I was driving my son around, and it just, that pisses me off still. Like, thinking about that, that I ever, that's just selfish. That I was that selfish to where I couldn't even just wait till I at least dropped him off to school. Like, but
Man.
that's what it'll do to you, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, and I appreciate your being so candid and transparent because, and you know, that's the reality of addiction, alcoholism, addiction. It's, you know, I know an addict, and you know, nothing else matters as much as you would think. Like someone who's thinking with a clear mind, you would think, gosh, does that not, doesn't matter. Like, you don't even think about that. No, they honestly do not. And the only thing that that addict could think about was the next high. Where am I going to, and where am I going to get money? Whether it's stealing from family, and you would never ever think, um, wow, you stole from your grandmother? Like, no way. But they don't, they're not thinking that way. And so I appreciate your being so candid, because I'm sure someone else that's listening is like, yep, I do that too, and maybe I need to stop. So there's a question here, and it says, how are you dealing with being sober and being in the environment of a bartender? How do you do that?
Yeah, so that's like, I mean, even in rehab, you go through some counseling in there, and I told him, like, I have no plans on leaving my job. One, because it's really all I know in a sense. Like,
Mm.
people ask me, like, I don't want to bartend forever. People ask me, what do you want to do? I have no idea. I don't know. When I was young, I wanted to be a cop. I don't know. I just want to, like, I want to be able to make as much money as possible with as least work. Like,
Yeah.
but with co-parenting, this industry has allowed me to work with, like, my schedule. So like in the summers, I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off. Well, I have my son and he doesn't have school, so we have ample amount of time together. So I've met some great people. I was a little hesitant at first. When I got out of rehab, the first time I got a shot that you get every 30 days that helps with cravings and everything. This time I'm taking, it's like naltrexone or something like that. It's supposed to help with cravings. Um, I was a little bit concerned, but not like for me, the only time I've ever wanted to drink at work is when everybody's gone and I'm clean because that's what I did at the end of the shift was drink because I was bored while mopping the floor. Like
Hmm.
it almost is um it almost kind of like helps in a sense because from a clear mind, sober mind, you see these people drunk acting a fool. Like Saturday, this girl took a shot and hit the bar, like slipped and hit her teeth on it. I thought she knocked her teeth out. Thankfully, she didn't. But just you see people act a fool, and you're like, I know for a fact I have done that. So that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the thing is like I tell people, okay, I'm around it bartending, but I'm also around it when I go to the grocery store, when I go to the gas station to get gas. Like if I wanted to drink at work, it doesn't matter where I work. I can, you know what I mean? Like I can go get
Yeah.
it. Like I'm in rehab and we're watching TV and it's a beat ups commercial and they're cheers and beer. Like it is socially acceptable everywhere. And it's almost like you don't go to a football game without tailgating and getting drunk. You don't go to a wedding, like every wedding picture there. It's just, it wasn't that big of a deal for me because like I said, I could have got it anywhere. Even if I didn't have a job, I could have walked to the gas station up the street and got it. Like,
Yeah, for sure. And so you had mentioned one thing, and while you are speaking, actually, let me go ahead and ask this. Thank you, Debbie, for your question. Hi, Troy. Debbie says that she says, my daughter is just becoming sober. What kind of encouragement helped you in your achievements?
um, so my mother, 100%. Um, my family, I owe them the world. They've never given up on me and been by my side. They've never given up on me, been by my side through some of my darkest times. But like I said, my mom's in remission of breast cancer, and I kind of think like she did not choose breast cancer. She did not choose to lose her hair and go through chemo. She wanted to quit, but she didn't. She did not choose that. I chose to pick up the bottle. I can choose to go get help, and she can't choose if she gets, I forget what it's called, but if it has another flare up and has to go through chemo, she can't choose that. I can choose whether I put that bottle to my face or not. So that, I mean, my little sister in college took a class about addiction because of me because she wanted to like more understand about
Hmm.
it because she didn't struggle with it. And she said she talked to a bunch of people in that class, and one of the students or speakers said that people that go to rehab, it 9 out of 10 don't. It takes more than one time. It's not you go one time, no, I'm magically cured. So it's the support system around me, and then my son. I mean, that day in the car when I'm shaking and drinking water, and then this summer, before he started football, him coming into my room, like I work, my schedule is messed up because I work nights.
Hmm.
So if I don't have him, I can sleep till 2 p.m. But if I have him, I get up for school and stuff. But he would come in my room, Daddy, can we go to the pool? Yeah, oh, no, shit. Blackout curtains, so it's pitch black in my room. Like, yeah, give me 15 minutes. Fall back asleep. 3 hours later, I wake up. He's in his room playing his PlayStation, not complaining. I'm just like, I'm taking away memories for me and for him
Hmm.
for a bottle. Like I told you the first time we talked,
Hmm.
alcoholism is giving up everything for one thing. Sobriety is giving up one thing for everything. And I had missed memories that I'll never be able to get back. Um, but being sober has been amazing because I got sober right before football because last year was his first year and we've always had a tight bond, but it made our bond even stronger. And we have a handshake we do before every game. My 60 days was on a game that he won. Yesterday, he won his last game. They finished 3 games in a row. Like, and I just pull him aside and I'm like, I'm so proud of you. Like, and I know he's 8, but he is the wisest 8-year old. And I know he can tell. And I was transparent with him. I told him, hey, you won't see me for a week because I'm going to get help. So that way I'm not sick. I didn't tell him it was alcoholism or what, but he knows.
Hmm.
Like he's in the car every stop on the way home from school when I'm going to the liquor store, but he
Hmm.
knows he gets a prime hydration drink there. So like but he knows he's not dumb at all. And his mom actually messaged me. She's happily married with kids and stuff, but she's, it's like I'm the father of her son, so
Right.
there's always going to be. She's like, hey, I'm happy for you. How many days is it? And I told her, and then she's like, my son's name is Zane. She's like, he hasn't straight up been like, dad's sober, I love it. But she said he comes home and just raves about what we did and where we went and stuff. And even just that, like, I saved that message because that's why I did it. That reason. Being at a football game, and if anyone that is in here that knows me and has been to a game, you can find me anywhere because I'm the wildest one. I'm always hoarse by the end of the game, but that's because I want my son to know I'm there. I want him to hear me be like, "Come on, boy!" Like, fire him up. Like, I'm not only there physically, but I'm there mentally as well. When before at baseball games, I'm running to the car to get my sunflower seeds, take a drink, and I'm there. But I'm thinking about when I'm getting home and what I'm doing afterwards to get a drink. So just family was what I'll say. If I didn't have my family or my son, not to sound depressing, like, I don't know if I'd be here, to be 100% honest, whether it would be drank myself to death or some other reason, because I have an amazing support system with family for sure.
Wow. I mean, I have chills and emotional, like, just all of it, especially with your son. And, because you yourself, I don't know if this makes sense, but, you're at the game and you want your son to hear, you saying "Go Zane, go," and you see and you are taking in those moments, absorbing those memories, and you knowing that your son now is going home and telling his mom, me and dad had a good time, and just he may not be able to verbalize, like you said, dad's sober or whatever, but he notices the difference because he's able to say, me and dad had a good time, or whatever it is. And I get chills just thinking about that. How beautiful is that? That is just, I can't talk about it. That's amazing, Brandon. That is just.
I mean, when I found out I was having him, I was 23 years old, and I'm like, I never thought anything other than to step up, and I was like, I'm going to be a better father than the one that wasn't present in my life. And then thinking back, like, I missed out on some stuff because there was times where I stayed up all night and I passed that. I wasn't awake to answer my phone for his mom. Like, are you coming to get him? And I just missed out on that. But and what I said in one of my videos on TikTok is it's never, yes, I missed out on some stuff, but it's never too late until it's too late. Like, I missed out on some memories for sure, but if I would have kept drinking, who knows if I'd even be here to this day. And then I missed out on a lifetime. And then my son now has to, I mean, you can attest to that. My son now has to walk around every single day with the burden. And then I would never want him to get older to think like, what could I have done to help dad? Because a story real quick, my son is the kindest, hardest kid. He's a beast on the football field. It's weird how he can flip it. But I take him to Cane's. I have the metabol. I don't eat a lot. I eat like once a day, and it's at night. I take him to Cane's. I don't eat. I get him food. I see him pull a napkin out. He's ripping up his chicken, and he puts a handful of fries on a napkin, and he pushes his plate over to me. Like, what are you doing? He's like, Dad, I want you to eat. I'm like, buddy, I'm not hungry. He's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, I'm not hungry, buddy. Like, what 8-year-old does that? So just to think that I could have potentially put him to ever question like what he could have done when he's been amazing, and one of the sole reasons why I'm 82 days sober now today.
Gosh, that makes so much sense. Like, you've got this, Brandon.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've told you. So like, there's a couple things that I always use for a reminder. Like, I have a bracelet that I wear. It like symbolizes sobriety. So if I ever to want to take a drink, I look and I see that. Well, in my wallet, I have a picture of my son right here.
Mm.
And then right next to my debit card, this little metal thing came with the bracelet. And it said, "Sober badass fuck. Sobriety, whether you have 1 day or 1,000 days, you are an inspiration. You have 1 day that someone else hasn't yet reached. Your example can change lives."
Mm.
So I have, if I ever to, all right, well, I got past this one. Now it's time to take the drink, and I look down and see that bracelet. Just, if I already didn't have enough motivation, just little steps or little symbolic things that I can have, and
Most
it
definitely.
all.
Thank God. Thank God. Okay, so another comment is, I can relate, Brandon. I was a high functioning alcoholic and funny, but vodka was my go-to, and I could drink all night and go to work and function well. I'm so happy for you, Brandon. Pooch of Pretty and Pooch says, yes, I would think watching all the other drunk fools would be incentive enough not to want
Yeah.
to like them. You've got several Let's Go Brandons in here. A Pooch of Pretty and Pooch says, heck yeah, a boy wants to hear his dad cheering him on. Oh, that's precious. Linda Oakey says, I resonated with something that Brandon said. See, I'm so glad you did.
Yeah.
Anna says, oh, what a precious son, just beyond precious. Debbie says, looking out for each other. And Pooch says, man, that's greatness. And so, you know, you had mentioned something earlier too about not really having a lot of friends, or at least the friends that you do have, they work a 9 to 5 and that kind of thing. But I'm assuming that you may have lost some friends due to not drinking any longer. Is that a correct, or is that a wrong assumption?
It's not necessarily due to like not drinking. So when I tell people this, like, I'm a grown ass adult. I don't need anybody to coddle me or anything. But when I was at my lowest, damn near rock bottom, and if it wasn't, I don't ever want to experience it. I went through, now I had family and my son, of course, but people that I called my brothers, my best friends, it was crickets. So this was the first time I went to rehab. I kind of cut a lot of people off after that. And then, especially the second time, it was kind of, it brought me back to my father. Like, if I'm not reaching out to you, I don't hear from you. So fuck it. Like,
Yeah.
I've got my, I've got my son, I've got my family. Bef- in the past, I always had to have a female by my side or friends or something. I'm okay with being a hermit now. Like, my buddy asked me to go get lunch the other day. I'm like, I don't really, I kind of just want to sit at home. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I haven't really lost friends, per se. Actually, one of my buddies came to my work Saturday, had a couple drinks, and then came, chilled with me afterwards, brought beer. He's like, "Do you care?" I was like, "No, I don't care." I poured him a shot and I smelled it, and he's like, it was a new chocolate whiskey or whatever, but he's like, "Don't drink it." I'm like, I'm not gonna drink it. I'm smelling it, and I wouldn't waste it on this nasty stuff. But yeah, I've another person that's really inspired me. I don't mean to snowball. You talk about ADHD, mine's bad.
No, I'm with you. I
I
can
have
yeah.
I have a buddy who actually does podcasts as well. He him and his buddy got a Sprinter van, and they do what's called, it's called pop up pod underscore is that their socials. They drive around and pop up podcast anywhere. Um, I lived with him for 7 years on and off. Um, I moved in when he was engaged and they split off. So he's newly single. I'm single. And we both work. We were both bartenders. We'd get off, and definition of a bachelor pad. I'm talking nothing but beer in the fridge and ketchup and mustard,
Mm-hmm.
holes in the wall. I mean, we had fun. Well, then he chose a career path and got really devoted to it. I actually look up to him and his work ethic. It's inspiring. But he's had times. If he's listening, I would not say his name, and I hope he doesn't mind me telling this story. But he has kids of himself. Um, he would drink. There was a couple times where his now fiance like woke him up because he was peeing in the pack and play, so drunk. And they would argue the next day, and she's like, what if our daughter was in there? Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
He made the decision to get sober. He's almost 2 years sober now. And the first time I went to rehab, he was checking in on me every day, and he's been a huge inspiration, because just seeing his success, and if he can do it, that's what I thought. Like, I can do it. He drank just as much as me. If he can do it, I can do it. And he's done it, and he's 2 years and very successful. And I love seeing good people get what they deserve and get their flowers, per se. And he definitely, I mean, he's very driven and worked hard for everything he has, and it's awesome to see that.
Man, congratulations to him as well. And since we are both ADHD and ADD and all the things, you said that, oh my God, I've just lost it. You said,
I haven't lost friends, really.
That's good.
Yeah.
Lost friends. And but I know what I was thinking. Okay, so you had said that when you were in rehab, that you didn't want the medication, that you wanted to feel and suffer, that you felt like you needed to suffer. And I feel like that in life, right, in life itself, that the growth comes from suffering. And because, for me anyway, I'll speak for myself, it comes from the true bottom of the barrel suffering. I've got nothing else. And for me, whenever I'm just like, I got nothing, that's when I turn to God, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I've got nothing. But it did take, Brandon, can you hear me? Okay, we lost Brandon. For a split sec, but I'll just continue on until he hops back in. But sometimes it does take getting to the bottom of the barrel and going through that suffering. I'm not sure. He'll probably join us back here in a second. Maybe his phone, or he lost connection, but I'm sure he'll hop back in. We'll wait for him. But you have to sometimes you just have to hit rock bottom, and then the suffering is what I think produces perseverance. That's a part of a scripture, that suffering and continuing to keep your eye on the Lord, there he is, produces perseverance. Like you can suffer and suffer. Whoops, we lost him again. Let me see. Oh, there he is. There he is. But I think you have to suffer in order to grow, right? I think you have to, because if it's easy, then it's like, oh, I can do this anytime. It's easy. I can
hear anything.
Yeah. So can you hear me, Brendan? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can't hear anything.
Okay, I'm going to remove him for just a sec. Let me see. Sorry, guys. Don't see anything muted here, Brandon. Yeah, you're right. I'm going to put him back in. Can you hear me? Yes, Pooch, you're right. You find out who your friends are for sure when the going gets rough. Yes, that is true. So let's see here. What else? Oh, there he is. I wonder if you can hear me now. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah,
Okay. That's okay.
I tried to FaceTime my son earlier, and he didn't answer. So then I texted his mom and said, never mind, I'm about to be on a call for a little over an hour. And then he FaceTimed. So then I'm like hanging up, and then I got back in, and then I couldn't hear. So, but sorry about that.
That's okay. That's okay.
I do remember what we were talking about, like bottom of the barrel, rock bottom.
Yeah. I mean, you almost have to be in in order to just have nothing else. And then you either figure out, am I going to stay here and just keep doing this crap? Or am I going to change this? I mean, it's a choice. It's a choice. But I think that suffering produces growth and
it kind of goes along the lines of like disciplining. If I let my son get away with eating in his bed and I tell him, hey, don't do it, but there's no consequences, and I don't do anything every time he does it, he's going to keep doing it. So it's kind of along the lines with addiction. It's like, well, if I'm enabled where I just keep tomorrow, like what? There's no incentive in a sense. And then when I hit rock bottom and the panic attacks and everything, it was like, shit, this sucks. I don't want this anymore. So why get sober? Not only for family and son, because of health, and that reason right there. I don't want that again.
Absolutely. You are so right in saying that. And I think, so let me ask you this, you know, with your support system, and I know that Debbie was asking about your encouragement and whatnot. There are two different, I'm sure more, but the two that I know of, one is obviously having a great support system, and the other is with people that I've had on the show have said that their support system was so great that they enabled them. And so, does the support system say, you know what, we've supported you, now we're going to, you're on your own. You're on your own. Well, then does that person feel like, damn, I've been abandoned?
That couldn't be more true. My mom was put on this earth to be a mother. Thank God me and my little sister had kids, so she has grandchildren, or she would have opened up an orphanage or driven my stepdad up a wall. Like, her sole purpose on this earth was to provide for her kids. She is an amazing mother. I mean, I'm 31 years old, and she knows I'm sick, and she goes to my sons, all their games. I meet them. We go to the game together. I have a bag of any medicine you can think of and protein, like.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it was incredibly difficult because that's what sucks about addiction too. You're not only destroying yourself, you're putting all these other people in your life in such a bad predicament. Like, my mom would take a bullet for me just like I would her. So I put her in the hardest spot of like, she exhausted every option. She did the nice way, like, come on, sleep in the house, and like, I'll get you a wet rag, and the withdrawals are gonna suck. We'll take you to the doctor. And the first time I went to rehab was when she was like crying to me. But then after that, I went out to Vegas. My sister lived there at the time, and my mom went as well. She wouldn't let me drink, and it sucked. I was going through withdrawals so bad that I stayed an extra week and she left. So then I started drinking again, and that's when my sister and even my mom were both like, if you don't get help, like, we're done. Like, my mom always kept saying, like, I do not want to bury you. And I'm just like, in my head at the time, I'm like, I'm not gonna die. Like, it's not gonna happen to me. Like, I'm just drinking. Like, at this point, I'm just drinking in my house. It's fine. But I put her in the hard spot of having to, yeah, I could still go over for dinner, but she wouldn't nurture me. Or if I asked if I needed help with groceries, she wasn't going to help me or this or that, because she knew I was spending money on the alcohol. And I definitely put her in a hard spot because, like I said, she's an amazing mother and she wants to take care of her kids. But at what point, like you said, are you enabling? And she's not buying me the alcohol, but by her not putting a foot down, in a sense, if I were, something were to happen to me, I know she would have beat herself up. And that's something I'm just happy to be sober for that
I thank
reason as
God.
well. It's like I hate that I put her in that situation, and she tells me every day she's proud. Sunday yesterday when we met up for my son's game, like, she's like, I'm so proud of you. And I'm like, I don't like being told their people are proud of me, because in my head I'm like, yeah, I mean, it is nice, but it's like, proud of me for what? Getting clean? I should have been clean the whole time or controlled it, but I'm just happy she's happy. And with her going through chemotherapy and everything, just if there's one less thing that she has to worry, she's still going to worry about me, but not worrying if I'm drowning in my own throw up because I drank my, like, knowing
Yeah.
that one thing that can help her
Yes.
is
I'm so glad that you recognize that and that you said that, because I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that watch that are moms or dads of addicts, or maybe even children who are putting themselves in, gosh, at such a young age, the position to worry about their dad or their mom and thinking, what can I do to help? And it's just a horrible position to be in. And I know your mom is proud, and my son is 30, and I'm a mom. And, um, my daughter's 25, and I'm a mom to them. Like, that's what I want. What I want to do. I want to take care of them,
mhm.
and they're never too old for me to take care of. No matter what anybody says, I'm
When I
going
was
to
sick
take
last week, she's like, "Do you want to come over to the house and I'll take care of you?" I'm
care.
like, "Kind
And what?
of," but there's a movie with Steve Carell. I think it's called About a Boy.
Yes,
Uh, About a Boy. I think it's called
beautiful boy, beautiful boy.
Beautiful Boy. Yes,
Mhm.
I watched that and then I sent it to my mom. She watched it and cried. I cried, and it's you see it, and for me watching it from it's almost like two different movies, but it's not. So my mom watched it from Steve Carell's point of view. I watched it from quit fucking badgering me. I'm gonna do what I want to do. You can't control me. Point of view, and then it's man, that is deep because you can take two different perspectives of the movie. But I definitely shedded some tears on that, and it kind of like when the addiction is controlling you, you don't care about anything, and it's now being sober and seeing that is just another reason why I keep doing what I'm doing now. It's like I'm sure there was when my mom would have surgeries or not feeling well, she would never tell us kids because she didn't want us to worry. I'm sure there's some nights that she probably couldn't sleep at all because she was worried about me. Or when I went to jail, it, alcohol was involved, so that's another reason. But she was probably up worried sick about me, and it's just selfish. But
Mm,
selfish is one of the biggest words you can use with addiction because there's all the tools to get better and ways to get better, but you have to want to do it for you. First of all, you can't do it for somebody else because then your motives aren't pure. And that was the first time for me with rehab. I wasn't 100% like I'm done. Like I did it for my mom.
mm.
So
And you said something earlier, and I know it's late, but and I'll let you go. But you said something earlier that reminded me of a young man, and you had mentioned that, uh, and I know you mentioned it earlier, but that you always had to have, a woman or a partner, and then you screwed it all up. And why do you think that? Why do you think that is? Like, in what ways did you screw it up? Did you screw it up because you were drinking all the time and drunk, or you pushed them away, or
right.
both, or what do you think it was?
So I was in the shower. I was in the shower thinking about stuff before this. And if I could like name this podcast like this episode, you've heard of people, especially drunk people, they go on the apology tour, like, oh, I'm sorry for rage texting. I'm sorry for this. I'm sorry for that. So the reason I'm so open and everything, this is what I call my accountability tour. I'm
Mm,
taking accountability for everything. So with relationships, um, I got cheated on at a young age, and then that messed me up along with the abandonment issues and everything. But with always drinking, yes, that stemmed from everything. If we weren't having a great time, happy, my mind was going crazy, or I would just always be on edge, and I would hound my girlfriend at the time, like, what are you doing? Why aren't you texting me back? This, just because I'm paranoid. And then I start drinking more, and then I get mad because 30 seconds go by and I didn't get a text. And then we break up and I go into depression. And then I tell people, like, they're like, why are you sad? I'm like, well, me and my girlfriend broke up. And so I started drinking. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, we did break up, but why? Because I couldn't control my drinking. And that definitely led to erratic behavior. Like,
Mm.
yeah, I wasn't thinking with a clear mind. She's out with her friends getting dinner, and I'm over here thinking she's banging the whole football team. Like, like I self sabotaged a lot of things, almost every relationship. Like,
Mm.
because I got cheated on in the past, it always stuck with me. But it's like I pushed. Even if I were to get cheated again, that would suck. But instead of getting cheated on again or something, I just push them away because I'm not fun to be around at that point. Yeah, I'm fun in the beginning when I'm trying to like win you over, and then it's so crazy when my son lives 40 minutes away. When I drive to pick him up or something, I have all the time in the world to think, and I really do wish I could a mass text or like video call to a lot of my exes and apologize wholeheartedly because this last relationship I was in, I think I was genuinely in love with this girl, and I
Mm.
pushed her away, and I fell in a deep depression, and it was terrible. And the way that I had felt, I know I've made other women feel, and I kind of like took a vow, like I would try my hardest to, if I ever get in a relationship again, be better and never make a woman feel less superior because when I was at my lowest going through heartbreak, it sucks. And then it sucked knowing one, I did it to myself, and two, I've made other women feel that way. Like,
Mm.
yeah,
Wow. And so essentially pushing your fears yourself on to make them feel like crap
yeah. I
or
mean, it's a relationship is supposed to be fun, not a chore. But I would make it a chore for women by constantly, why aren't you home? What are you doing? Who are you texting? What is that like? If they're gonna cheat or do something, they're gonna do it regardless, as if you're on their back or not. So it's like I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason, but there's definitely a couple that I could, I don't know, sit down or something and just kind of tell them like I
have you
wish I
thought
could
about
take it all.
have you thought about doing that? Let me the reason I say that is because so my son is 30 and I raised both of my kids, especially him much on his own till he graduated high school and then he went to college and so but so he and I are very very close. He he's a mama's boy as well. We talk almost every single day. He'll call me. Actually, he calls me first every single day. And but I I don't know. I wonder. Sometimes about him as well and his ways. With he was raised just by me. Not there was not a man in his life, and I am so proud of him. But you remind me a lot of him in that. So he's said this on social media, and he says it. Not something I'm just blurting out, but because he's shared his story. But he used to be addicted to porn, and that pushed women away because of his addiction as well. But now that he's self-aware and now that he is clean or whatnot from his addiction, he too has become aware of how he mistreated people and women, girlfriends, and friends. And so he took this class called Regeneration. And a part of that, there's a step in it that they have to go to people that they've hurt, and whether it's a phone call, a letter, a text, if it's a Facebook, however, whatever they can get in touch with them and say, like you were thinking about doing, like, I just want to do a video, maybe a video call or a quick call or whatnot, but a part of their healing is to do that. Hey, I just need to apologize to you for, you know, the crap I put you through, or the kind of person I was to you, and not trying to rekindle anything. I need to tell you I'm sorry. I need to tell you I'm sorry, and what I've done. So have you ever thought about doing that?
So, not to like drag it out, but the ones that I would want to do that to, either blocked on all social medias. Um, I mean, I had an ex that I would not take no for an answer. She would block my numbers. I would download text-free apps. I would email. I got a protection order put on me. Like, made me feel like a criminal. Well, I mean, I wasn't threatening her, but I was not listening to her. She said, "Leave me alone," and I wouldn't. I'm
Mhm.
drinking, and I mean, I'm like, "No, talk to me."
Mhm.
Well, I got really drunk one night and texted her off of a text app and was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know I'm so sorry for everything I put you through." The next day, I'm at work and I get arrested, and I spend 5 days in jail for breaking that protection order. But
Oh,
I'm not. I mean, I knew the cause and effect. Like I
sure.
knew. So, and then with my most recent ex, I wouldn't take no for an answer. You know, once we were finally, she kept coming back. So once she finally was done, I was kind of like in panic mode.
Mm.
Well, she blocked me on all social medias and never like legally reached out. But I remember I tried to call her one night when I was drinking off of a text free app. I think I even bought one because I ran through all the text free apps that she done blocked, and it said her number was changed or something. And I'm like now thinking about them, like I made I made this chick change her fucking number.
Mm.
There's people that she might not be in touch with anymore because it got lost in transit because of me.
Mm.
So there's been times where I have a note section of notes in my phone where if I ever wanted to text or say anything, I type it in there and I leave it in there. So I kind
Mhm.
of feel like I got it off. But I think honestly, if like best case scenario, they're like, here's these women say what you need to say, I would freeze up because I would want to say so much that I wouldn't say anything at all
Mm.
because
I
I am that
understand.
sorry. But I wish nothing but the best for them. I wish they could see that I'm a change now, but I know they're in their minds and they're better off without that person. I'm not saying me per se, but that person that I was.
Right. Right.
But everything happens for a reason, you know. So
Man,
I'm just
you are
focused on my
such a
boy. But
changed human being. Like I can, just everything that you are owning, acknowledging, admitting. I mean, gosh, a lot of the 12 steps and the 12-step recovery program is, acknowledging and admitting and just so much. And just, it sounds so much like you are just a changed man. You're on the road to recovery, to healing, and such a great life. So let me ask you this. Is there anything that you want, before we wrap up, I'll just tell people that sometimes I get to talking, and because of my brain and the way it works, and like I'm watching comments and la la la. Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you've wanted to share, that you want to say on this platform that I didn't ask you or I didn't touch base on? Anything that you want to say that I haven't given you the opportunity to say?
so when you posted that picture on TikTok and you said tune in, it's raw. Like I think the reason I am so raw, I'm not sugarcoating anything. One, because I'm taking accountability for everything, but two, because to be blunt, it's not easy. Whether it's addiction with caffeine or heroin or whatever, fentanyl, it's not easy. So I want to be 100% transparent with people because it isn't easy. And because somebody going struggling knows that it's not easy. So I don't want to sit here and be like, yeah, it's been good. I'm successful, man. Like, no, I still have hard times. I drove home the other night, walked in my house. I have a new place. I've been here for about a year. It's the first place I've had without roommates. I open the door and I just start crying because I'm in this 3 bedroom condo, finally a place of my own, and I'm like, it's just me.
Hmm.
So it's there's days that are better than others, and men, especially, you're you're supposed to be strong. You're supposed to be, you know, the backbone, which you can't. Which you're yes. but it's okay to not be okay. I grew up with the tough love, and and I would push emotions down to where it got to the point to where it got real bad because I bottled everything up. Men suffer in silence, and I'm telling my story because if, like I said, if one person that is like, I can't say anything to anyone, the first time I went to therapy, I'm like, it's a fucking joke. They don't care. Like, even if they don't care, just saying it to another human being helps. And it's okay to ask for help. Like I said earlier, it's not too late until it's too late.
Boy, you're not kidding. And I'm so glad that you said that, because there are men, unfortunately, that do
But
live by
women as well. I'm not one gender or the other. Anyone. I know it's not easy to ask for help. It's not easy to swallow your pride. Like, I'm a prideful person. It's not easy to sit there and be like, I have a problem. I have, like, take it on the chin. It's not easy to admit defeat. And I admit to defeat with myself when I walked through that door again. And here I am 82 days. And if I ever thought about taking a drink, I think, man, I'm not going back to zero. I'm at 82 again. It's not even this year. Maybe one day I can get to the point where I can cheers at a football game, but I'm nowhere near that. I don't want to test it. Hell no.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I'm happy with my son, and I'm living life better than I was before I picked up that bottle. So why even try?
Yeah, exactly. My gosh, what an inspiration you are. So this is a question that I ask everybody before we end the podcast. And I want you to, Brandon, to go back and think about everything. So from the very beginning, from you were a kid, you were abandoned by your biological dad for a while, and then he comes back into his life and all the things. And you have your mom, who is a mom, a supportive, loving, cheering mom, and you have your stepdad who raised you and disciplined you and loved you in the way that he could. And then you start drinking, and all of the nights, all of those nights. And then you have your son, and he sees you. Oh, of course, he'll be back. Don't worry, people. He'll be back. He'll be back. Of course, we get to the last question, my last question that I ask everybody, and it goes, dead. But okay, let's see. Debbie, you said, I'm sure there's a fine line of being overbearing and non-caring until someone. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
My bad. It was,
nope.
He called again. Okay.
Okay, we're hopping off. I know
you're good.
So all just from the very beginning to everything in your life to where you are today, 82 days sober. When you think about everything you've gone through, who would you say, who is Brandon today? Who are you today? Who are you?
Who am I is a great question. I'm not who I was, that's for sure. I'm not super religious, but people say baptism is like, like the rebirth of a new life and everything. And I don't want to compare because, like I said, I'm not super religious, but how people describe that is how I would feel like when I stepped out of the facility that I was in for the second time. It was almost like, all right, now is when we start. There, remember the good in the past. Like, yeah, of course there was a bunch of good stuff that I don't want to forget, but everything in the past, no more feeling sorry for yourself, dwelling on the past. Like, you're in control. I'm in control of my happiness and what happens next. I'm in control whether I drink again and spiral and whatnot. Like, now some things are out of control, but do what I can do to set myself, my family, my son, and people around me up for success, and just be myself. Like, I definitely feel like I'm a changed person. I feel like people around me that knew me before, even my mom says, like, you have life in your face before. Yeah, I'd go over to her house and I wasn't mad, but it's just I'm there physically, I'm there, but I'm not there. I'm in the bottle somewhere.
Mhm.
So like when I said I'm at the game, or I'm driving afterwards with my family and I'm talking, and it's like the big, like I said 1,000 times, the biggest thing is seeing my mom happy, and just knowing that I had a little part of that is awesome. And I
Mhm.
definitely, to get back to a new person, I don't know. I'm still unclear. Like I said, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I'm 31 years old. Is it too late? No, you're not guaranteed tomorrow, but who knows? I could serve someone a beer on Friday and then be like, you'd be perfect for our job, and it'd be the best job I've ever had in my life, and I make millions and I love it and it's amazing. Who knows?
I
So
love it.
I really don't know, but it's okay to not know. I mean,
Yes.
I'm not going to quit my job without plans, but I'm just taking it one day at a time.
I love it. I love it. And Pooch says, stay the course, brother, not just for you, but for your son. And, you know, Brendan, I thank you so much for coming on. Tell your son I appreciate him letting us steal you for a
Yeah,
little bit. I know he's been calling you, and that's
of
important
course.
to
Yeah.
you. And, but I see one inspirational young man. I see a
Thank
man
you.
who's on the road to greatness. My gosh. And when I mean greatness, I don't mean $1 million maker. I mean
Right.
changing the trajectory of your son's life, of your
Yeah.
life, because it could have gone south. Like you
Hmm.
said, your drinking or anybody's addiction affects
Yeah.
everybody, all the family, and it does change. And it changed myself and my siblings, and we're working through that. But you saw the goodness in your son, and man, what a
Yeah.
great young man, caring young man he is, and you don't want to be a part of changing him that greatness. So I see a man on the road to recovery, a great man, and I appreciate you so much for coming on and being so transparent and sharing
Yeah,
what
of
other
course.
men and women need to hear. I'm
Well, I
glad I got to
appreciate,
meet you.
yeah, I appreciate what you do as well. I'm not gonna lie, when you first reached out to me, I thought it was another TikTok scam. They're like, "Can we use your picture and you'll get money?" I'm like, but then I clicked on your page and saw what it was, and I was like, "Oh, it probably was my hashtag sobriety and stuff." So it's awesome what you're doing too. Like you said, not to make millions or even make money. It's just, if one person out there, that's one person that if you weren't doing what you were doing, that, so it's awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, look, the last comment says, "Love you, Mom and Dave."
Oh, love you guys. That's my mom and stepdad.
Oh my goodness. Mom and Dave, thank you so much for being here. You have an incredible son. I'm so honored and blessed that Brandon said yes to coming on and sharing his story to help others. And Mom, I'm praying for you. I am a Christian woman who loves people being their true, authentic selves, and I pray for your cancer to just be gone forever and ever. And Dave, thank you for pouring into Brandon. You're a good man. Thank you, Brendan, so much. I'm grateful for you.
Yes.
Gosh, I'll keep tabs,
All right.
keep rooting for you, and feel free to touch base anytime you want.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Thank you. You have a good
Yep.
night.
You as well.
Thank you. All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining me and for coming on and supporting Brandon. I really do appreciate you guys. We'll continue to pray for him and cheer for him. He is on the road to greatness, like I said, for himself and his family. So until next time, we'll see you in No Judgment here with Tish Ross, the podcast. Y'all have a good night.